Oh, right, yeah. We obviously did the little clip. I think it was the Telegraph I got that from, which was mainly just the argument. And someone said actually it was, yeah, previously New York City Sue. Um, but yeah, she said you because I said it did seem disrespectful, but she said you only think that because it's like you didn't see like you only saw a bit of it, which is true. It's like yeah, you can't like that was the most heated confrontational bit, which seemed to be right at the end. But then I thought, yeah, that is true, and so yeah, I thought we'd just do the whole thing, um, and actually see how it escalated, because I think actually, like thinking about it after watching it, Trump didn't seem to get. He got triggered by him saying about America, like you'll feel the effects of the war. That seemed to like jolt Trump into life because he was actually sitting there, and it was him and Zelensky and the other guy, JD Vance. Yeah, Vance. I know it's Vance, but I don't know about the two initials. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, let's be fair and let's watch. Also, I have to say to Zelensky as well, he had a perfect opportunity to shit on Trump and um, gather people to his favor. But I saw a headline that said he said that he regrets how it kind of ended, which I actually thought was quite. Yeah, like I say, he had the perfect opportunity to shit on Trump and pull favor with a certain demographic, and yeah, he didn't. Like I thought that was quite, yeah, fair play to him too. So yeah, let's go.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have President Zelensky of Ukraine. And we've been working very hard, very close. So we've actually known each other for a long time. We've been dealing with each other for a long time and very well. We had a little negotiation spat, but that worked out great. I think for both countries, I think for the world, actually, beyond both countries. And we have something that is a very fair deal. And we look forward to getting in and digging and working and getting some of the rare earth. But it means we're going to be inside, and it's a big commitment from the United States, and we appreciate working with you very much. And we will continue to do that. We have had some very good discussions with Russia. I spoke with President Putin, and we're going to try and bring this to a close. It's something that you want and that he wants. We have to negotiate a deal, but we've started the confines of a deal, and I think something can happen. Uh, the big thing is the number of soldiers, mostly at this point, but soldiers being killed. They're losing thousands of soldiers. So on both sides, we're losing a lot of soldiers, and we want to see it stop, and we want to see the money get put to different kinds of use, like the rebuilding. And we're going to be working very hard, but we've had a lot of very good conversations. I will say until we came along, the Biden administration didn't speak to Russia whatsoever. They didn't speak to anybody. They just allowed this to continue. And I will say that, I'll say in front of you, you've heard me say it 1,000 times, if I were president, this war would have never happened. We would have had a deal negotiated for you without having to go through what you've gone through. But your soldiers have been unbelievably brave. We've given them great equipment, but somebody has to use the equipment. They've been unbelievably brave, and we give them great credit. This was supposed to be over very quickly, and here we are 3 years later. So I give tremendous credit to your generals and your soldiers and yourself in the sense that it's been very hard fighting, very tough fighting. They're great fighters, and you have to be very proud of them from that standpoint. But now we want to get it over with. It's enough, right? We want to get it over with. So it's an honor to have you here. Thank you very much for coming. We're going to sign the agreement at the conference in the East Room in a little while, right after lunch. and we'll be having lunch together. We're also discussing some other things, and we appreciate everybody being here. It's a somewhat of an exciting moment, but the really exciting moment is when they stop the shooting and we end up with a deal. And I think we're fairly close to getting that, and an honor to have you. And please, I'd like to say something.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you for invitation. And really, I hope that this first document, will be first step to real security guarantees for Ukraine, our people, our children. I really count on it. And of course, we count that America will not stop support. Really, for us, it's very important to support and to continue it. I want to discuss it with details further during our conversation, and of course, the infrastructure or security guarantees. Because for today, I understand what Europe is ready to do. And of course, I want to discuss with you what United States will be ready to do. And I really count on your strong position to stop Putin. And you said that enough with the war. I think that is very important, Ben, to say these words to Putin at the very beginning of war, because he is a killer and terrorist. But I hope that together we can stop him. But for us, it's very important to, to save our country, our values, our freedom, and democracy, and of course, no compromises with the killer about our territories. But it will be later. And of course, what I wanted, we spoke about it by phone with you about the drones production. We have very good drones production. I think the best one in the world for today because of the war. Yes, and of course, we need very much the air defense. You have the best air defense in the world, and really you helped us under attacks of Russians. And I want to speak how we can exchange the licenses. We're open to share the licenses of all our drones with you, of course, with the United States. And we need licenses for quick production of air defense. Even after the war, we need our nation to be calm, that we are secure. So that's why we need this air shield. And of course, about this, I want to speak about the contingents. I think that France and UK already spoke to you, and we know that Europe is ready, but without the United States, they will not be ready to be as strong as we need. And the last point, last not least, about exchange, about our people and children. And you know that these crazy Russians, that they stolen 20,000 of children, Ukrainian children. They changed their names, they changed their families, relatives, and now they're in Russia. We want to bring them back, and really, it's a big dream, task, and goal for me, and our warriors. By the way, Mr. President, we exchanged, released more than 4,000 warriors from Russian prison, but there are thousands more in the prison. I wanted to share with you some images, how it's. Just can I now?
Yeah, please.
One minute. Just you to understand in what circumstances, in what situation they are, and what the attitude of Russia to our prisoners. That guys, just you before and after. And you see before and after, just you to understand. Now thousands of such guys, ladies and men, there. And so they don't eat, they beat them, and they do a lot of bad things. So out of, even during the war, there are rules. Everybody knows there are rules during the war. So these guys, they don't have any rules. You see that 50, 60 kilograms left, and a lot of such things. And I didn't want to show you what the changes with images of children, because I will just share with you. And I mean, it's looking tragic.
Yep, that's tough stuff.
Yeah, I wanted very much to give you, and you see.
Yeah.
This is pastor, by the way. They stolen pastors because it's not Russian church. They stolen pastors and moved pastors to the prison. At the end of last year, we brought 3 pastors, and we could exchange them. And this is pastor, you see.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. So I mean, this I wanted to show you, and this. So thank you very much.
We want to get that ended, right?
Yeah. Of course. We
And
want.
I think we will. And
We have to. Of
you have any questions, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. With the, how much money is the U.S. going to put into the fund that is being created today, and how does this provide long-term security for Ukraine?
Well, we don't know exactly how much because we're going to be putting some money in a fund that we're going to get from the raw earth that we're going to be taking and sharing in terms of revenue. So it's going to be a lot of money will be made from the sale and from the use of raw earth. And as you know, our country doesn't have much raw earth. We have a lot of oil and gas, but we don't have a lot of the raw earth. And what we do have is protected by the environmentalists, but that can be unprotected, but still it's not very much. They have among the best in the world in terms of raw earth. So we're going to be using that, taking it, using it for all of the things we do, including AI and including weapons and the military, and it's really going to very much satisfy our needs. So it's something that just worked out really well. We have a lot of oil, and we have a lot of gas, we have a lot, but we don't have raw earth. So this has just about every component of the raw earth that we need for computers, for all of the things we do. This puts us in great shape.
And a long-term security for Ukraine. How does this provide it?
I think they're going to have great luck. I think once we make the agreement, that's going to be 95% of it. They're not going to go back to fighting. I've spoken with President Putin, and I feel very strong. I've known him for a long time, and I feel very strongly that they're very serious about it, and we'll make a deal. And when the deal is made, I don't think we talk about security. Everyone's talking about the other day. All they talked about was security. I said, let me make the deal first. I have to make the deal first. I don't worry about security right now. We have to have a deal because right now, last week, 2,000 soldiers died on both sides. 2,000, and they're losing 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 a week. So as we sit here and we talk, people are getting shot and dying on the battlefield. And you know, they're not American soldiers, but they're Russian soldiers and they're Ukrainian soldiers, and we want to be able to stop it. And we want to be able also to spend money on other things. We don't want to, this is a tremendous...
Thing is, yeah, listening to Trump, you see how effective it is to have a businessman. Because you can kind of see from what he's kind of said, what his kind of idea is. He's not just bringing everyone to the table and saying, stop and let's just all forget it. But he's saying, bringing people to the table with things they need. That's very clever. Like, you can bring everybody to the table because everybody's going to have a little bit of something that someone wants. And yeah, you just got to get that right. Yeah. I see what you're doing, Trump. Yeah. Actually, hold on. We're at 10 minutes. Hold on, 2 secs. Yeah. Let's carry on. Let's go.
Of money, and what the Biden administration did was terrible. They were giving money, but he had no security on the money. Europe, as you know, gave much less money, but they had security. It was in the form of a loan. They get their money back, and we didn't. And now, at least we're protected because the American taxpayer has to be protected too. But this is an incredible agreement for Ukraine because we have a big investment in their country now, and what they have, very few people have. And we're able to really go forward with very, very high-tech things and many other things, including weaponry that we're going to use in many locations, but that we need for our country. This allows us to do that.
Sorry.
Yes, go ahead, please.
If I can just, yes. In the document, there is one of the very important points if we speak about business and investment. We never had LNG terminals in Ukraine. This document will open. I mean, the next document, but anyway, here we see in the framework, we see really goodwill for this. LNG terminals for us is very important, and I think for security of European continent. We have the biggest storage, gas storage. We have the biggest in Europe, yes. Yes, and we can use it. Use it for LNG, use it for LNG, and we will do it. And really, we can help Europe because Europe really helped. President Trump said that they made less support, but they are our friends, and they are our very supportive partners. They really gave a lot. Mr. President. Yeah, really, they did.
They gave a lot, but they gave much less.
No,
Much less.
no, no.
No. Okay.
Well, there you can see there was a little bit of and fair play for Zelensky for standing out. But what did Trump say? 360 billion. I don't know what we gave or what France. I mean, that's got to be the two countries really in it in Europe, us and France. But I was actually sitting here thinking this is kind of crazy for how confrontational that bit was that we watched. Seeing this kind of now, it's kind of interesting to see what really escalated. Yeah,
Mr. President Trump, you have repeatedly called the deal with Ukraine as a historical one. And as a President of the United States, you make historical decisions in other issues which affect America and other world. So what place in the world history do you want to take? And do you associate yourself with any famous historical figures?
Yeah, I'd say George Washington, Abraham Lincoln. I would say I'm far superior to George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. Now, you know I'm only kidding, right? Because when I say that, the fake news is going to go wild. They're going to say he considers himself to be better than Washington. But you never know. You never know. I don't compare myself to anybody. I'm here to do a job. We've had a great 35 days or whatever it might be, a month, a little more than a month. We've accomplished tremendous amounts. Not only this would be a very great achievement if we could get the war stopped and get them back to normalization. I think that's going to happen. We've had very good talks on both sides, as you know. But I think we've done a very good job, just generally. If you look at all of the things we've done in 30 days, they're saying there's never been a opening for a president. The first month, there's never been a first month like we've had. And this is one of the very important things. This, to me, is one of the most important things because we have tremendous death taking place as we speak. And I don't want to have that. You know, think of the parents, whether they're in Russia or Ukraine, think of the parents of all these people being killed needlessly.
They came to our territory.
Should have never started. This would have, if I were president, this would have never started.
actually, there again, I'm not a body language expert, but I have watched body language things. If you watch Zelensky's, like when Trump was talking, he was shaking his head, which is like just gently shaking his head, which is watch again, and also the facial expression. Oh, I'm not even grabbing it. Oh shit.
Killed needlessly.
They came to our territory.
Should have never started. This would have,
Anyway.
if I were president, this would have never started.
Will you continue sending military aid to Ukraine after the U.S. signs this agreement with Ukraine?
Yeah, we're
And the
gonna be
question
continuing.
to President Zelensky: do you feel like the U.S. is on your side? That President Trump is on your side at this moment?
What do you think?
He wants to know, do you think that, sort of a stupid question. I guess we wouldn't be here if I wasn't.
I think that the United States on our side from the very beginning of occupation, and I think that President Trump on our side, and of course, I'm sure that the United States President will not stop support. This is crucial for us. It's important for us. Yes. And Putin, the president speaks about the people and the soldiers which are dying, but they came to our territory, they came to our land. They began this war, and they have to stop. And I think this is the question, with really the most important question. Can President Trump, I hope yes, with some other allies, to stop Putin withdraw this enemies, our enemy, withdraw these troops from our land. And I think that you asked about the history, I think that if President or when he will stop Putin, if President Trump will bring peace to our country, I think he will be on this wall. I think.
We've had very, very good talks.
What about military aid to Ukraine?
President Zelensky just said that there will be no compromises with Vladimir Putin. I just wanted to ask both of you. Firstly, are there compromises that you think that President Zelensky is going to have to make? And President Zelensky, is there anything that you might be thinking that you may be able to offer or bring to the table, for example, elections? Thank you.
I think you're going to have to always make compromises. You can't do any deals without compromises. So certainly he's going to have to make some compromises, but hopefully they won't be as big as some people think you're going to have to make. That's all. That's all we can do. I'm here as an arbitrator, as a mediator to a certain extent between two parties that have been very hostile. To put it mildly, they've been very hostile. There's been a vicious war. There's been a vicious war. You know, it's a very level battlefield, and those bullets go out, and as I've said many times, we were talking about it with Pete, many times the only thing stopping those bullets is a human body. And in the case we're talking about, generally young human bodies are stopping a lot of bullets. It's dead level. That's why it's great farmland. It's great land. It's great farmland, but there's very little protection against the bullets that are being, and other things that are being.
Trump's a little bit like Ragnar from Vikings. He understands that you're fighting on, but the best gold is the soil. Yeah. So far, this is hard to say either way because we don't know what the deal is going to be. As I said before, if it's going to be that the Ukraine just bends over and takes it from Russia, then like Zelensky can't take that deal. But on the other side as well, it isn't America. It's more our business, and like I say, it's more Europe. It is Europe business. It's not really like, but then it's not really our business, really. But it is because it's Europe. But like Trump's putting himself and America's in this position, but actually, it is none of his business. But yeah, I did think that did when he said I'm not compromising. It's like you're gonna have to. Everybody's gonna have to. Yeah, but like I say, it's hard to really say because we don't know what the deal is yet. And like Trump said, you kind of worry about after that. Let's get this bit done. Like, and anything that pops up, cross that bridge when we get there.
Shot. So all I can do is see if I can get everybody at the table and get an agreement. And I think we're going to end up with an agreement. Otherwise, I wouldn't probably be even here today.
Mr. President, I've got two questions for you. You think ultimately your legacy will be the peacemaker and not the president that led this country into another war and ended foreign wars? And I've got a question.
I hope it will. I mean, I hope I'm going to be remembered as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing if we could do this. I'm doing this to save lives more than anything else. Second is to save a lot of money, but I consider that to be far less important. So I hope I'm going to, thank you, Brian, for that question. It was a nice question. I hope I'll be known and recognized as a peacemaker. This would be a great thing to solve. This is a very dangerous situation. You know, this could lead to a third world war. This was headed in the wrong direction. If this election were lost.
That's a great, like I said before, like, I don't think people realize, and because people have such a short attention span, like, the Ukraine-Russia war was very big news, but then something else replaces it. And people just forget, but people don't realize how vulnerable that war makes everybody, especially us. Right? Yeah. But yeah, Trump's right. It could lead. Like that's what like I like that he said that like at the end that you're playing with World War III, and if it's World War III, then it's the end of the world. But yeah,
We didn't win this election, and we won it by a lot. That was a mandate. We won every swing state. We won the popular vote by.
that's what I was going to say as well. If Trump manages to bring peace to this situation and Israel Palestine, he would. Don't worry about presidents. He'll go down as one of the greatest people in history, and he'll be probably the only person that on the list of great people in history. Everybody else on the Genghis Khan, Caesar, um, Alexander the Great, and so on and so on. But they're all people that caused the death of millions of people and suffering. Trump might be the first person to go on that list that ended wars, but then he's got to do it first. It's all right saying that. But anyway, let's carry on.
Millions and millions of votes. We won everything. The districts, you look at the areas of red, take a look at a map. This was a big mandate, and
He's
this
just
was
flexing
one of the
now.
things that we're going to get this thing settled. If we didn't win, I think this could have very well ended up in a third world war, and that would not have been a good situation. What was your second
And
question?
my second question for President Zelensky, why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest, why don't you wear a suit? You're at the highest level in this country's office, and you refuse to wear a suit. Just want to see if you, do you own a suit?
Yeah, problems.
A lot of Americans have problems with you not
Really?
respecting
I
the
don't have
dignity of this
such-
office.
I will wear a costume after this war will finish.
Okay.
Yes, maybe one.
Maybe something like this.
something like
Yes,
yours.
sir.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Maybe something better. I don't know. We will see. Maybe something cheaper than yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. You said yesterday that you have.
Are you going to send more arms to Ukraine in case there's no peace?
Yeah, we're going to have arms to Ukraine. Yeah, sure. Hopefully, I won't have to send very much because hopefully we're going to have it finished. We're looking forward to finishing this quickly. We're not looking forward.
This is what I mean with every question has basically been, are you going to arm Ukraine? When Trump has already said, I'm going to try and put a deal in place that ends the fighting. I'm just going to try and bring everyone to the table. But you keep saying they're going to, like, with his, and this is the other thing that annoys me about people in the West especially. Oh yeah, we should fund Ukraine to fight Russia. We should fund Palestine to fight Israel. So you're not the people that's got to fight them wars. It's very good you saying that. Sat at home, do you know what I mean, watching too many episodes of a series every night and eating yourself into a coma and drinking and all cushy in your safe house. Like, you're sending people to die. Like, why are they so obsessed with arming when Trump has already said, I plan to actually stop the fight, like, to stop it all. Now, whether he can or not is a different subject. Like, I'm sure there's people that will argue, but he's already said, my plan is to stop this whole thing, to stop it. Every question has been, are you going to arm them? Are you going to arm them? It's like, mate.
Sending a lot of arms. We're looking forward to getting the war finished so we can do other things. But we very much appreciate the agreement because we needed what they had, and we're treating, our country is now treated fairly. Biden didn't do that. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. This should have never happened. This should have never started. But, sure, the answer is yes, but hopefully we won't have to send much because I'm looking forward to getting it done quickly, very quickly.
Does that mean you'll provide security guarantees, Mr. President?
I don't want to talk about security yet because I want to get the deal done. You fall into the same trap like everybody else. 1,000,000 times you say it over and over. I want to get the deal done. Security is so easy. That's about 2% of the problem. I'm not worried about security. I'm worried about getting the deal done. The security is the easy part. Security is very nice. Everybody stopped shooting. And now will Europe put people there? I know France is going to. I know the UK is going to. I know other countries are going to, and they happen to be right next door. We haven't committed, but we could conceivably. We have security in a different form. We'll have workers there digging, taking the raw earth, so that we can create a lot of great product in this country. So in that sense, you have something, but we haven't determined that yet. I will say, in speaking to France and in speaking to, and they were here, as you know, last week and just the other day, they have committed to a lot of security. I don't think you're going to need much security. I think once this deal gets done, it's over. Russia's not going to want to go back, and nobody's going to want to go back. When this deal ends, I really believe this deal is going to be over. Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you. You had Joseph Macron and Keir Starmer at the White House this past week, both of whom praised your courage and conviction to lead the pathway towards peace.
Yes.
Part of that involved, though, re-engaging in Russia in diplomatic relations, something that previous leaders lacked the conviction to do so. What gave you the moral courage and conviction to step forward and lead that?
Well, I love this guy. Who are you with?
One American News, sir.
Well, that's why I like him. One American News does a great job. I like the question. I think it's a very good question. It's a pathway to peace. It's a pathway to getting something solved. And I feel that as the head of this country, I have an obligation to do that. Plus, you know, we're very much involved. We got involved. It's too bad we got involved because there should have been no involvement, because there should have been no war. And there shouldn't have been October 7th. That would have never happened. As you know, Iran was broke. They had no money to give to Hezbollah. They had no money to give to Hamas. They were stone cold broke. And then under Biden, they became rich as hell. They went from no money to $300 billion in a period of 4 years. And they gave a lot of that money away, and you see what happened, and that's a real mess.
I love that Trump comes with like kind of disses the rappers will throw at someone. Iran is stone cold broke. That's a great diss. That is literally what you'd hear in a rap tune. But he's saying it about a country. That's hilarious.
Also, that we hope to be able to solve. But no, I appreciate your question very much. I feel I have an obligation to try and do something to stop the death.
If I can answer, yes, if I can answer, sorry, please.
And I do like your clothing, by the way.
Yeah, really?
Even though I think he's a great guy, by the way. But I don't know if you two like each other. But you know what? I think he's dressed.
I like this guy.
I think he's dressed beautiful.
So I have more serious things than answer on such questions.
To be fair to him about the whole suit thing, I noticed someone said that in the comments, but to be fair to him, how, like, you got to think he's got a country at war. How is it going to look if he rocks up in an Armani suit that costs 50 grand or whatever? I don't know how much suits cost, believe it or not. But, yeah, like I can see why he's not wearing it. Like, it's not a disrespect thing. It's just that how's that going to kind of come across that, hold on, we're all struggling on the front line fighting a battle for you, and you're swanning around the White House all suited and booted, having lunch. Like, I can see why he's dressing down for his people back at home. Yeah, yeah, anyway.
I'll answer on more serious questions if I can. Yeah, so please, about security guarantees and about just ceasefire. We can't just speak about ceasefire and speak. It will not work. Just ceasefire will never work, because I'm like a president. I have this experience, and not only me. Ukraine before my presidency, from the 2014, Putin broken 25 times. 25 times. He broken his own signature. 25 times he broken ceasefire.
But he never broke to me. He never broke to me.
No, you were the president. You were the president during.
He never broke to me.
In 2016, you've been the president, Mr. President. You've been the president, but he had, of course, not with you, but he had during those periods, he had conversations with our side. And we had Normandy format, you know, the France, Germany, Ukraine, and Russia. And he broken 25 times. That's why we will never accept just ceasefire. It will not work without security guarantees. Security guarantees, maybe President is right about this document and other, but this document is not enough. Strong army is enough, because his soldiers afraid, Putin's soldiers afraid of our soldiers when we're strong enough. If we are not strong enough, if we are empty, if our storage is empty, we can't defend our land. today, he knows that we have all the world knows that we have meeting. Yes, why he's using ballistic? Putin today using ballistic on our hospitals, schools, and etc. Ballistic. So he knows that we are here and that President Trump is really have goodwill to stop this war. And you hear now the president. So why he's using? So he doesn't want to stop. See?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see where. But like I said earlier, I can already see what Trump is doing. Like, he's talking about different resources and different things people can share. And to be fair, that's going to bring and hold a peace probably more than anything. When there's a beneficial, what do they call it? There is a term for it. Like, people do it in business all the time, and you may hate someone, but it's like, yeah, business. Like, you're not gonna shit on each other because you both kind of you all have a deal that you're all benefiting equally out of, and you all, yeah, I can see what Trump's doing, but yeah, Zelensky. But then I know people are saying, and because people are funding him, but you have to understand that his country is being emasculated. And I know what he's saying. What he's saying is why America voted Trump. At the end there, what he's saying is why, like, because people feel that Trump's a loose cannon. I don't think Trump's a loose cannon. I think he's a very shrewd business. Typically, businessmen aren't necessarily loose cannon. They're not crazy individuals because it doesn't obviously tally up well with being in the business world. But yeah, I can't remember what I was saying. I went off on a tangent. What was I saying? Trump. God knows, but yeah, he does but then the Western world seems to want this war too. But I can see what people are saying that he's like he's more there to get more military to fight. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying about Trump. To have people that like people think Trump's a loose cannon, but that's quite a to have someone who people think are a loose cannon who actually isn't is actually a valuable thing to have. It means people aren't going to mess with you. Do you know what I mean? People say that about going to prison. You go to prison, you do something crazy, mess one person up, and then people leave you alone. And if they think you've got the potential to do it, people will leave you alone. And so having a strong, like what he was saying there, Zelensky, is kind of true. Same with the breaking of the things. And to be fair to Zelensky, signing a document, okay, maybe Trump will live up to it, but Trump's got 4 years. I don't think you can do more than 8 years, can you? You can do 4 and 4. So this is his last 4 years. Now maybe while Trump's in power, but it doesn't mean that that piece of paper document that gets signed is going to hold it. But like I say, what will hold it is like what Trump's saying. If there's something beneficial to everybody and how you you basically take two fighting sections and kind of make them work together, and it becomes everybody working together. But like, yeah, there's some truth to what Zelensky's saying. That to be fair, I don't know why the Ukraine agreed to de-nuke, but like they've already been through that type of thing. They de-nuked and said that if Russia messes with you, we'll back you. Well, Russia messed with them, and all right, we did a little bit, but not really. So you can kind of see Zelensky's thing of we've signed agreements, and but that being said, like I say, Trump may be onto something with the, like I say, bringing something that's beneficial to everybody. And like I say, what is great about it is the fact that it's not Trump's business. It's not America's business, really. But the fact that he's making, well, you're making it Trump's business too, and America's business too. He's gonna get something in it for him. But yeah, I'm starting to see now how because at first I was thinking, how's this gonna kind of escalate into what it did? But I can kind of see it. And to be fair, everything Zelensky said, showing the photos to try and tug the emotion side of things, um, yeah. But is that a case of, like I say, the same reason why he's not wearing a suit? Is it a strong face for his country? Because he knows his country has to stay strong, and if they see him bowing and but like it is hard to kind of know what to make of all of this until we know what the deal is. Uh, and yeah, but if I was Zelensky, I would at least see what Trump has in mind. And it's clear, like that's what's kind of crazy. Like I say, Trump's already kind of thinking of a way to kind of get everybody in together. And all they want to say is, "Are you going to arm them?" It's like, didn't you hear what he said? You might not need to if you like. But like I say, yeah, I can see Zelensky's point that Russia aren't afraid of breaking a. Um, but then like Trump's like, yeah, it's like, so what? Do you want to keep going? Do you want to wipe everybody out in Russia, or do you want to keep going until you get Putin? But either way, you're going to cause World War III and the end of everything. Russia's already threatened the UK more times than I could count over these since it all kicked off. But yeah, anyway, that's part one. We will carry on because, like I say, I'm starting to see where the friction is already starting between Zelensky and Trump, and Zelensky's yeah, it's like you can't blame him, but it's like it's not it's not going to be productive for anybody if this carries on. Now it's all right fighting it, and no one argues that Ukraine will. Yeah, but that's like I say, it's not always that just because someone will fight, they should. But yeah, anyway, that's part one. Sweet.